You're here with MMA Mac. Today we're going to go break down GSP versus arguably the three greatest middleweights of all time. For my top three, I've gone with Israel Adesanya, Anderson Silva, and Robert Whittaker. These three, I believe, stand above the rest of the middleweights in terms of resume and skill set at this time. I want to start off by saying I've done my best to take any bias out of the situation. I'm ignoring Israel Adesanya's titties and any ped test popped by the likes of Anderson Silva. We're going to ignore all that shit. These four fighters are all incredible, and at any time, any of them could beat each other. That's why we love MMA. That's why these are the top four. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to determine who's more likely to win, and I'll explain why and maybe even how. So here's how it's going to go down. I'm going to be breaking down GSP versus each of the top three middleweight kings one by one, and I'll break down into advantages, disadvantages, style, signature moves, attributes, anything else I want to cover. I'll then go into who I think wins and how. For this one, we'll be assuming all fighters are in their prime of their careers, and obviously all fighting at 185. Let's get into it. We're going to start with GSP and Anderson Silva. These two guys are from the same era, having both dominated their divisions around the same time, with GSP dominating the welterweight division, and Anderson Silva slapping around the middleweights and light heavyweights. This was one of the original super fights people wanted to happen, but unfortunately we didn't get to see. But the good news is, now you get to watch me break it down. Alright, we'll cover the tail of the tape on each fighter, then we'll move on to attributes, styles, skills, advantages, and all the rest. After that, we'll go into the fight and how I think it goes down. Starting with the tail of the tape, we have Anderson Silva standing at 6 feet 2 inches tall, GSP 5'11". Reach, Silva standing with 77 inches, GSP 76. Leg reach, moving on, Silva's got 42.5 inches to GSP's 42, both weighing in 185 pounds. Attributes, Anderson Silva, incredible reaction speed, athleticism, which all these guys pretty much have, fluidity of his striking, his precision, his timing. Let me know if you think I've missed any or you change any. Happy to hear. Anyway, GSP, his attributes, explosiveness, athleticism, fight IQ, well-rounded dynamic skill set, timing, and overall physicality, strength, power. Under their styles, Silva's well known for his counter-striking, his slick BJJ skills, and his counter-punching in general. He's a sniper. He'll often have his hands down by his side using his head movement and quick reaction time to avoid getting hit. At times, he'll just clown people, man. He'll be talking shit in their faces, poking his chin out, begging them to try and hit him. He's a cocky motherfucker. But there are a few sights in MMA as incredible as watching Anderson Silva when he's in his flow state. Moving on to GSP. On the other hand, he's known for being one of the first and most complete fighters ever. Not just well-rounded, but world-class everywhere. From his dominant wrestling to his dynamic elite striking, his complex and elite Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But what really sets him apart in my mind is his ability to blend all these disciplines together and put them into one style. GSP is one of the highest fight IQs in the game and has shown many times throughout his career an ability to dominate and target an opponent's weaknesses. This man can win any way, it's just a matter of time. On to signature moves. Silva's signature moves got to be arguably his front kicks to the face, his knees to the clinch, as well as his hands by his side, head movement, weaving, ducking, slipping punches, and countering with lightning fast speed. GSP on the other hand, as stated before, known for his double leg takedowns, you expect to see his jab, his Superman punch into leg kick. He also got a beautiful inside leg kick and a roundhouse kick, which of course he learnt how to perfect from Uncle Joe Rogan. Now we'll move on to the advantages and disadvantages each fighter has over the other. Silva's going to be the longer, faster striker of the two, and I believe he'll get the upper hand on George on the feet due to his height, length and speed, along with his slick movement. Having said that, GSP isn't going to get dominated on this field, but he'd have a hard time getting in close enough regularly to land anything significant on Silva, in my opinion. Having said that, GSP is going to have the wrestling, IQ and power advantage, and as we've seen many times before, the threat of the takedown often makes even great strikers hesitant. Let's get into the fight and who I think wins and how. Look, it's a hard one to pick. All these are going to be hard, but I'm going to go with GSP winning this one, and I'll tell you why. I think GSP's wrestling and fight IQ are just too much for Silva. We've seen Silva struggle against wrestlers before like Chael Sonnen and Chris Weidman. Not only is GSP a far better striker and overall fighter than those two, but he's also arguably a better wrestler and poses way more a submission threat than either of those two. You know, if Chael Sonnen's holding you down and dominating you for a whole fight, and then, you know, only to get done in the final 10 seconds by a fucking triangle, that ain't happening with GSP, bro. Chael's even said he's trained with GSP. It's not even close in terms of who's the better grappler, who's stronger out of those two. He said GSP's just a freak. So, GSP takes this one. As for percentages, look, we'll move on to that after we go into the round-by-round breakdown. Let me know what you think. It's obviously hard to do. We don't know what will actually happen. Done my best to envision what I think would happen. So, look, GSP is going to go in there in round 1, land some heavy leg kicks early to diminish Silva's mobility. Mixing some of his jabs and Superman punches into leg kick combos, which is going to get Silva backing up a bit. I can see GSP, after landing a few leg kicks and jabs early on, maybe copping a counter from Silva as he goes in for a big 1-2. You know, Silva will just be quick, he'll be counter punching, doing what he does. GSP won't like that. He'll sort of back off a bit, take his time, pick his shots, land a few more kicks, then go in for a Superman punch into the leg kick combo again. As Silva backs up, but he's missing this time. In terms of the jab, he lands a leg kick and then shoots in for a takedown with Silva's back against the fence. He ends up getting Silva down. Silva goes for a triangle or an armbar. He's unable to get it. Locked in. Round 1 ends. On to round 2. They both come out, rushing the center of the gun. GSP and Silva throwing some feints. Silva landing a body kick. GSP tries to catch and counter but misses. They scramble. GSP takes Silva down again. Gets in a couple of ground and pound shots. Silva's able to sprawl and get up, maybe, you know, pushing off the hips of GSP and getting out of there nice and quick. Though Silva is now wary of the takedown threat, you know, he's a little bit more concerned about it. He knows GSP can get him down. Has him a little more hesitant on the feet now. Silva starts throwing out some long jabs, light lower leg kicks. GSP countering with kicks of his own, particularly leg kicks. Threatening for the shot, threatening the takedown with level changes, gauging Silva's reaction. GSP feints again, but then shoots. He's anticipated the takedown, and he's actually tried to knee GSP in the head as GSP comes in, but it misses. Lands on GSP's chest. GSP gets a waist of Silva, locks his arms in, takes him down, drags him to the mat. From there, GSP manages to pass his guard, gets into full mount, lands some ground and pound, then gets some elbows in. Silva rolls over to avoid damage. Eventually, GSP takes his back and wins a late second round submission via rear naked choke. So GSP wins the fight, taking home the middleweight belt. I think GSP wins 70% of the time if it's just a one-off fight. If they fight multiple times, I think GSP wins about 80% of the time. You know, his fight IQ, as we've seen before in rematches, this man always does better. I can't see the fight IQ of GSP and his team being outmatched by Silva and their team. I think the more GSP fights Silva, you know, the easier it's going to be for him. Of course, so, you know, unpredictable. The striking of Silva can't be underestimated. You know, if they fight 10 times, he's probably going to knock him out a couple times in there. Especially with GSP not having the greatest chin. Alright, up next, we have Robert the Reaper Whittaker up against George Rush St. Pierre. Now this one, this one's an interesting one. This is arguably one of the hardest fights to pick in my opinion. And we'll get into why. But first, we'll go to the tail of the tape. We have Robert Whittaker standing at 6 feet, 0 inches. GSP standing at 5'11", so basically the same. I'm sure, you know, the women out here be disagreeing. But, you know, us 5'11 kings, you know, we're basically 6 foot. Let's just admit it. Moving on to reach, we got 73 inches for Robert Whittaker versus 76 at GSP. Quite an advantage there for the GOAT. Leg reach, Whittaker 43, GSP 42. So, slight advantage there for Whittaker. Height, weight, both 185 pounds, of course. Attributes, once again, look, GSP, explosive, athletic, well-rounded, nice fight IQ, timing, power. Whittaker, very explosive, very athletic, well-rounded as well. Incredible speed when closing the distance and moving. So that's just their attributes. In terms of styles, we already know GSP, you know, is well-rounded, dynamic, Methodical, calculated. He can take it anywhere he wants to and beat most people anywhere. He's going to mix it up. You know he's going to have wrestling and striking mixed in. He does all the time. It's the fact of the fight. If you're fighting GSP, it's how it's going to be. Whittaker has an aggressive blitzing style, darting in and out with snappy strikes, often mixing it up with punches and kicks in multi-strike combos. He'll throw the threat of a takedown in there too to keep you on your toes, and he's always looking for the finish. Signature moves, GSP, as stated before, explosive double leg takedowns, jabs, Superman punch into leg kicks, inside leg kicks, roundhouses, you know the deal. Rob, known for his darting jab, blitzing 1-2 down the pipe with a lagging right high kick behind it. His side stomp to the knee, and I don't even know what you call him, but he's in close, fucking, looks like he's wearing headphones, throwing elbows. I don't even know what you call him, but, he's in close elbows as well. Advantages and disadvantages. GSP is going to be the overall more skilled fighter. Definitely, the more well-rounded fighter. Both are well-rounded. He'll pose a significant submission threat and has far better timing and more weapons on the feet than Rob. I also think GSP arguably has a better chin. He's definitely got better striking defense, I think. And his fight IQ is almost unmatched. But GSP's been caught before in his career. He actually got caught by a head kick from Carlos Condit, who isn't as fast or powerful as Whittaker either. So, there's that taken consideration. Moving on to Robert Whittaker. Look, the Reaper overall, he's a faster fighter. This man's incredibly fast. Both on the feet, striking, and in general just movement around the ring as well, around the octagon. He's also bigger, has some of the best takedown defense in MMA history. I mean, so does GSP. I think he has more power than GSP too, but Rob's chin is the issue for me. Once again, it's not terrible. GSP isn't infallible either. But Rob, look, he gets rocked regularly. He'll usually recover pretty well, but it's definitely an exploitable disadvantage there for Rob. Now, going on to who I think wins. As said, I truly think this is one of the hardest fights to pick who wins. It's about as close as it gets to a 50-50 fight for me in terms of achievement. These two fighters aren't even close though. GSP obviously the way better and more storied career. In terms of skill gap though, it isn't so large. In terms of styles, they're almost perfect counters to each other. Whittaker being an explosive, athletic counter wrestler and blitzing striker up against a well-rounded, methodical, and maybe more powerful but a bit slower striker and dominant wrestler. For me, although Rob has the least decorated career of the four in this video and has some losses, I've got to go with Whittaker based on their styles and their attributes. I think Whittaker's takedown defense in his prime, so we're talking Romero-ish era. I think it's just going to be too good for GSP. They can hold him down consistently or to do much damage, which means it's going to stay on the feet. And although GSP has more tools, definitely the more skilled, well-rounded fighter, and arguably has a bit more power. He's got better timing and anticipation as well, but speed kills, man. We all know speed kills, and I think Rob's going to be too strong, too fast, and he'll catch GSP on the feet and put him away maybe in the third round. I can see Rob's 1-2 head kick working, but look, I know I've just said third round. I'm going to go into a round-by-round breakdown of how I think the fight goes, and we'll see if we come to the same conclusion as what I have now. Let's go. First round. They come out. GSP shoots almost immediately. Gets Rob down momentarily. Rob scrambles, gets back up as he's getting up and breaks. GSP lands a left hook that glances the shoulder, then the top of Whittaker's head as he moves away. Back to the center of the octagon. They both throw jabs, glancing at each other. GSP gets the better of it with his longer reach. GSP feints the jab as Rob comes in for the 1-2. GSP throws an overhand right which lands on the shoulder, leading to both men clinching. Whittaker lands a nice 2 quick uppercuts as GSP goes for a knee to the body. They break clinch. GSP initiates with an attempted Superman punch. Whittaker avoids it, but is caught by the incoming leg kick. This throws Whittaker off balance. GSP lands a jab, and as Rob circles out and away from the fence, GSP lands a roundhouse kick to the body. Whittaker takes it, circles out in the middle of the cage. They meet, looking for openings, both throwing feints. Whittaker goes for a side stomp, misses. GSP comes in and lands on the inside leg kick, displacing Rob's leg, keeping him in position for a moment. GSP rushes for an overhand right as he begins to explode. Rob lands a sidestep to the knee. Harper extends GSP's knee, impairing his mobility for the rest of the fight. After this, GSP throws some lunging strikes, trying to get in on Rob and close the distance, but with his compromised knee, he can't cover the ground quick enough. Rob's just moving out of the way, lands some nice counter jabs, like counter hooks. That's sort of the way the rest of the round goes. Round ends. Round 2, GSP lets Rob take the center of the octagon. He's a bit more tentative now. He's going to be looking to counter Rob as he comes in instead of being the aggressor. Whittaker, he loves that. He loves being the aggressor. Whittaker starts blitzing in first with his jab, then some nice 1-2s. GSP struggling with the speed, and he's got his compromised leg. His time is still there. So he catches Rob with a nice left check hook as Rob comes in. It does rock Rob, but it's not enough for GSP to get the finish. Rob then takes a more defensively sound approach, starts throwing some leg kicks and blitzing with combos to the head and body. They're both throwing combos and landing, but Rob's land more. He decides to then start focusing on kicking the body and legs of GSP. GSP tries to go for the takedown as Rob goes for a body kick, but can't get Rob down. They recenter. GSP tries to rush Rob with a feint, jab into a straight right. Rob meets him with an elbow, splitting GSP and stunning him for a short time. GSP recomposes. They exchange jabs again. GSP landing. Rob just missing. They go to exchange. Jabs again, but this time Rob follows it up with a high kick to the head, which catches GSP. He's rock bad this time. Rob runs in and starts landing uppercuts as GSP's up against the fence. And some hooks and whatnot. GSP then drops. The ref calls off the fight late in the second round. So look, I predicted third round, and then I actually went into the breakdown of the fight, how I think, and ended up being a late second round KO. But that was short sequences. It'll go probably longer than that. It probably would go into the third round, I think. That's how I did my best to do a full fight, see how I think it would go. They're 5-minute rounds. There's a lot that can go on in the rounds, and it's not all going to be action. They're going to be a lot of looking for weaknesses in each other, looking for opportunities. But that's a rough idea of how I think it goes down. Look, despite what I've put above, I've got Rob winning by TKO there. I think I won a fight in their prime. Rob wins about 55% of the time. But overall, if they fought multiple times, once again, I give it a GSP. I think he'd win maybe 60% of the time, maybe a little bit more. Once again, his GSP's fight IQ and his team would allow him to learn and improve, more over multiple fights, I think, than Rob. And look, that's how I think it goes down. You let me know what you think down below. I want to hear everybody's thoughts, on overall, and, on each fight if you want to. I'd love to hear how you think it goes down, who you think wins, and hear why. But look, we're going to get into the last fight on here. And look, arguably the greatest middleweight of all time in Israel Adesanya now versus GSP. So, tail of the tape. Anderson, mistaken in there for a bit. We have Adesanya standing at 6'4" versus GSP 5'11". So 5-inch advantage there. Adesanya in terms of reach 80 inches, GSP 76, 4-inch advantage. Leg reach, Adesanya 44.5 versus GSP 42. Weight, both 185. So, way longer, way taller fighter. Silva and GSP are actually surprisingly close in terms of reach. Not here. In terms of height and reach, Izzy's is way longer, man. Way longer. So it's might be a tough night for old GSP on the feet. Let's go into attributes. Adesanya, his reach, his length, his chin, man. He's only been knocked out by Poatan? No one else knocked him. He's been rocked by Gaslam, rocked by fucking Strickland. Did he get rocked by Drickus? I don't think so. He landed some heavy shots on him, whatever. Yarn arguably stunned him. Yarn arguably stunned him at light heavyweight. But this man's chin, it's no joke. So I've got chin in there. Athletic, of course. His precision and timing, as usual. Very similar to Silva, but better, in my opinion. GSP, same as the other ones. Explosive, athletic, fight IQ, well-rounded, timing, power, blah, blah, blah. In terms of styles, Israel, a very dynamic kickboxer, throws a lot of feints, especially kick feints. He's always fucking engaging the hips, boom, boom, pretending he's going with the kicks, and then bam, fucking pops him out there. He's got that titty, he can fucking use that to flick in his opponent's face and just cover their eyes, get them distracted, like, oh, what the fuck? What's going on in that man's chest there? Damn. I didn't know Izzy had a sister. Oh shit, it's Izzy. Fuck. Nah, just playing. Nah, look, he's got beautiful counter striking, straight rights in particular, and what I call chambered counter hooks. I don't know if it's the correct term, but Izzy, he fucking stands there and he just sort of boom, boom, left, right. He's got him chambered. He's got his fucking. He's looking like a W from behind, if you get me. He's got both hands ready to sort of fucking twist his body, and fucking he's got him chambered and just lets him rip, and that's what he KO'd Rob Whittaker with. He's done it to other fighters as well. Paulo Costa fucked up with a few times with that move, and I like it. It's pretty annoying. He's in certain situations only, but it's they're nice. Of course, as well, uses head movement reaction speed to avoid damage. He's a sniper counter puncher, somewhat similar to Silva, as said before. GSP is the same as the other three fucking fights. It ain't changing. If you can't remember, too fucking bad. Go back and listen to the others. Signature moves. As said, Israel, chambered counter hooks, question mark kick, counter right straight, right hook, calf kicks, fucking titty flash. GSP, same as the other two times. GSP is known for his explosive double leg takedown, fucking jab, Superman, punch to leg kick, fucking inside leg kick, roundhouse to the dick. You got the move. Maybe roundhouse to the titty for Izzy. I promise, even though I'm giving Izzy shit, I'm going to give him a fair crack, alright? Alright. On to advantages and disadvantages. Israel chin is very hard to crack. Only fucking Mr. Stonehands himself, as said before, Politan Alex Pereira, has been able to do so. His reach and speed will cause GSP troubles on the feet, so will his height. It's going to be hard for GSP to connect. Even with GSP's skill set, timing, it's going to be very, very difficult. GSP will have the submission advantage if it gets to the ground, but there's a big difference in these guys' size, despite the weight being the same. Fight IQ advantage definitely going to GSP, but this is in their primes. GSP's a smart motherfucker, so we've had people like Strickland find weaknesses in Adesanya's game. Drickus do the same. Rob Whittaker as well. I think he won the second fight. And the GSP in his fucking corner, incredibly intelligent. I think they would pick up on that shit. If other people hadn't already and they hadn't set the blueprint, they'd be able to pick up on shit like that. They're not gonna go in there fucking clueless. So, look, winner. I'll start by saying Izzy's the greatest middleweight ever, in my opinion. As much shit as I just give him, he has beat the other two middleweights on this list. But styles make fights, and this could go a number of ways, like all fights on here. Here's what happens in my opinion. I think GSP wins, and here's why. Having seen what Whittaker was able to do winning their rematch, and what Strickland and Drickus have done to Israel, I can't see how GSP and his elite team wouldn't be able to exploit Israel's weaknesses. I think GSP would focus on getting in close, trying to get the takedowns and pressure on Adesanya, like Strickland did, but obviously wasn't too many takedowns from Strickland. A lot more from GSP. Think like Marab-esque, but like not shit and fucking trash and done by a goblin. I don't know if GSP can take or at least keep Adesanya down, because he's not easy to hold down. He's hard to get down, and he's quite a big dude for the division. He's a lot bigger than he looks. But look, mixing it in with a defensively sound GSP, walking Adesanya down, landing some strikes, more diverse strikes than Strickland would. I think he'd eventually get Izzy down and submit him, even if it's late. Look, here's a breakdown of how I think the fight goes. Once again, it ain't going to be perfect. Fuck it, could be, way off what'll actually happen, but this is, what I think would happen. I've tried to get in the mind of both fighters here, as I did for every fight. Try to use their styles and see what I think happens. If we're going to each fucking, full detail, each round here, there'd be like a page and a half, but, we're just going to keep it relatively simple. So, round one. They get to the center. Izzy throws a low kick and lands. GSP throws a low kick, misses. Izzy throws another. GSP avoids it. GSP feints a rush. Izzy feints a front kick. GSP circles. GSP's being passive, waiting for... Adesanya's being passive, waiting for GSP to enter. GSP knows he has to close the distance due to the reach disadvantage. Adesanya knows this too. GSP goes for a Superman punch, but falls short. Izzy goes for a counter hook and grazes GSP. Just hit him on like the fucking chest. Misses. GSP lands an inside leg kick, then shoots for a double leg against Izzy on the fence. Izzy's able to post and stop himself, getting taken down completely. GSP takes away Izzy's arms and they fall to the canvas. Izzy scrambles and is able to get back to the fence and stand up. GSP lands an elbow but goes straight in, as they get up and break. GSP cuts Izzy off as he circles out with a left hook, followed by a straight right. The right lands, Izzy keeps sliding out. He escapes. They then meet again in the middle. GSP swings an overhand right and misses, but goes straight in for the takedown, uses it as an opening. Izzy sprawls and gets up, now back against the fence. GSP moves in, throws a jab, which Izzy slips, followed by a right high kick that Izzy blocks. GSP then throws a roundhouse kick that lands to the body and hurts Izzy. Izzy circles out away from the fence. They center up again. Izzy decides to engage, goes for a quick 1-2, which lands and stuns GSP. GSP shoots a takedown in the middle of the cage, gets it, ends up landing some shots to the body and a couple of quick elbows before the round ends. Moving on to round 2. Round 2 starts. Izzy comes out, throws a question mark kick. GSP blocks it, goes for an inside leg kick and lands it. GSP goes for the jab, fucking lands. Goes for the jab again, misses. Izzy counters but misses. They clinch up. Izzy knees GSP to the body. It's a solid knee. GSP breaks the clinch. They circle. He throws a low leg kick, lands. Izzy throws a jab, fucking snaps GSP's head back. GSP feints the jab, goes for an overhand right, lands on Izzy as he pulls back, so it's not the heaviest hit. GSP follows Adesanya as he backs up though, goes for a roundhouse kick to the body, lands a straight right, misses the left hook to the body from GSP. So he's got himself up against the fence, boom boom. Israel lands a left hook of his own. GSP takes Israel down, drags him away from the fence, wraps his legs up, moves into mount, starts landing some heavy elbows. Izzy's fighting to get out of it. Eventually he does, gets back up to his feet, throws a front kick, just misses GSP's chin. GSP throws a low kick, then launches a Superman punch into a leg kick, this time both landing, and he goes for a roundhouse kick again, but this time he goes to the head, which Izzy sees and avoids, fucking moves back. Got his hand up, blocks, maybe just blocks the toes, hitting him. GSP follows up with a jab which lands. Izzy throws a 1-2 and backs GSP up a little bit and lands a low kick on GSP. Israel throws a jab, misses a jab cross. As he does this, GSP ducks in, moves in, hooks Israel to the body, then goes to the double leg. He gets it. As he does, the round ends. Moving on to round 3. The round begins as they meet in the middle. GSP launches a takedown and he gets it. Israel moves toward the fence and gets there. He's got his team, giving him advice, trying to tell him what to do. But GSP wraps his legs around Izzy's legs, he wraps them up, and starts moving Izzy away from the fence. He manages to get Israel back off the fence and get firm position on top. At this point, he only has half guard. GSP fighting to move into mount. As they fight for position, GSP lands some solid strikes on Izzy. As Izzy's trying to escape, GSP manages, after time, to get full mount. He does. Starts landing some hooks to the body. Izzy lands some strikes on the bottom. GSP postures up, comes in with a big elbow and misses, but then he regains composure, starts elbowing Izzy, landing some. Izzy's now desperate to get out of there. He gives his back up in an attempt to get up. GSP takes his back and chokes Izzy out via rear naked choke in the middle of the 3rd round. Ultimately, I have GSP being too smart, too well-rounded, taking advantage of Izzy's weaknesses. I think GSP wins in a one-off fight 60% of the time, with Israel winning 40%. If it's over multiple fights, I'd have GSP winning 75% of the time. Pretty controversial, I'd imagine. Some people might disagree, maybe even a lot of people. That's fucking great. Let me know why. I want to hear down below. Don't come at me with your bullshit. You don't know shit. Fucking blah blah blah. You fucking bias. Fucking suck a dick. I've been watching this sport for over 15 years. I'm all about the fights. Even if I hate a cunt, I try and, you know, give him the benefit of the doubt in a fight. Ultimately, we're not going to know what's really going to happen because we'll never see these fights. But it's just fun to fuck around with. But let me know your opinion down below. Let me know why. Let me know what you think. Anyway, that's a breakdown of my GSP versus the top 3 kings of the middleweight division. It's been a long one, but I hope you enjoyed. I'm keen to hear your thoughts. Make sure to comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more content. Cheers, lads. Have a good one.